Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Kyiv has discovered that China has been supplying Russia with weapons despite President Xi Jinping's promise not to.
A Russian attack on Ukraine's second-largest city of Kharkiv on Friday morning killed one person and injured at least 60 people, according to the State Emergency Service of Ukraine.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited Washington to push for Western unity as she met with U.S. President Donald Trump. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says he's received information from his intelligence services that China has been supplying Russia with weapons. He did not offer much detail on the quantities or types of weapons, but did note that their intel confirms artillery and gunpowder were supplied. The Ukrainian leader says Kyiv was blindsided by the discovery. He noted that during the course of Russia's more than 3-year full-scale invasion of his country, he spoke with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. Zelensky says he asked President Xi about Beijing's supply of weapons to Moscow and was assured that China will not be involved.
Не те, що ви здивовані, але дійсно не хотілося бачити відповідні факти, які ми бачили, які я бачив. Тому що все ж таки була у мене розмова з китайським лідером під час цієї війни. І я ставив пряме запитання щодо зброї. Він мені дав слово, що зброю продавати і відправляти в Росію не буде. Але, на жаль, ми бачимо зараз іншу інформацію. В будь-якому випадку
Beijing has always publicly maintained its neutrality in the Ukraine war, but has provided Russia with diplomatic and economic support. Zelensky says Kyiv will reveal its findings more comprehensively next week.
A Russian attack on Ukraine's second-largest city of Kharkiv on Friday morning killed one person and injured at least 60 people, according to the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, which also released these images following the attack. Kharkiv Mayor Ihor Terekhov said that 20 apartment buildings and 30 private houses were damaged as a result of the strike. Terekhov added that strikes were carried out by ballistic missiles equipped with cluster munitions. Rescuers, psychologists, dog teams, the national police, medics, volunteers and the city's municipal services have been mobilized to help with the aftermath, local media reported. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited Washington to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump. The meeting was described by both leaders as constructive and positive, with many points of agreement and a common understanding.
on trade.
Tariffs, defense, and the ongoing war in Ukraine were among the discussed topics, and the pair agrees that the war must come to an end. But the Italian premier says the primary purpose of her trip is to push for continued Western unity. Trump called Meloni a great person and noted that if she continues in her capacity, Rome and Washington will be the best of allies. Meloni says she discussed trade with the US president after he recently imposed global tariffs on more than 160 countries. The tariffs have since been paused for 90 days after the market crashed, but Trump says he's confident about striking deals to mitigate the crisis, including one with Italy. Speaking of migration, Trump praised Meloni for her government's stance, adding that the EU must, quote, get smart and manage the crisis more effectively.
They voted for Trump.
At least 23 Palestinians were killed in overnight strikes across Gaza as Israel continues its bombardment of the enclave. An attack on the southern city of Khan Yunis killed 10 people from the same family, including 5 children, 4 women, and a man. Al-Nasser hospital officials who received the bodies say the victims all suffered from severe burns. At least 13 others were killed in strikes on the north of the Strip, including 9 children, according to medical professionals at the Indonesian hospital. The Israeli army says that its troops are also continuing their military operations in the south along the newly established Morak corridor, separating Khan Yunis from Rafah. The death toll in Gaza has now surpassed 51,000, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. The UN is also warning of an imminent famine as it repeatedly sounds the alarm over Israel's 6-week-old blockade on Gaza.